6 scoreless for Sixto. Let's step into the on deck circle.
You're listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here, courtesy of the LineStar app. It is me, it is KC Bubba, and it's you, and we're breaking down the MLB slate for you right here, courtesy of the LineStar app. Go get that LineStar app right now. Stop, hit pause. Go get the LineStar app, upgrade to the premium product. Football starts this week, too. It's going to be the best thing you could possibly do for your game. I'm telling you right now, and on top of which, I want to remind everybody out there that the sister or the brother podcast, I don't even know. Is it a podcast? Is it sister or brother podcast? What do you think it is, Bubba? What do you say? Sister podcast?
I call it sister podcast. I think that's about right.
I'm going to call it sister podcast because Bogman has a lot of
I was going to say, especially with Bogman. Bogman looks like a sister of mine. He's got longer hair than me.
He's got way longer hair than me. He likes to snap his fingers a lot. So he's got that whole thing going on. So Scott Bogman and I are going to be bringing you the pre-snap podcast, courtesy of LineStar app. So go and I'm telling you right now, go subscribe. We already did our previews. The DFS show is going to drop Thursday. We're going to have on Friday the wagering show. It's going to be hot. It's going to be great. Football, baseball, Bubba, all things are good, including our favorite two pitchers last night. It was a good night for Sixto Sanchez and Tristan McKenzie. I'm never going to stop saying it that way. I just want you to know. It's always going to be Sixto Sanchez whenever I say it.
Yeah, especially when you're so filthy out there on the mound.
He's filthy Sanchez is filthy Sanchez.
He had some extra hot, spicy salsa on that one.
But it was pretty good. It was pretty good, man.
Pretty good.
And shout out to Gary, too, on Twitter, who got us that little side-by-side of Pedro Martinez.
Awesome.
We were talking about that. I love our people. Our people are the best. Like, seriously, people complain about Twitter, and sometimes you get, goofballs on there. But I'll tell you what, man, our people who listen to the show and interact with us, you guys are just awesome. And we're excited to keep going with you. We're not going away. We're going to be here all through baseball. So, Bubba, let's recap yesterday and go through Josh Donaldson, Nelson Cruz, Miguel Sano, all hit home runs. It's funny. Donaldson's back in that lineup. All of a sudden, that lineup scoring 7 runs again in 7 innings. What do you think?
I wonder who talked about that about 12 times before.
I don't know. Somebody. Barrios gets the short game W there in that game of doubleheader. The Phillies 6-5. Baum hit his 7th. He's hit in the 7th, excuse me. That rallied everybody over there. Hector Neris got another win there. So Hector Neris just getting some wins lately. Juan Soto returns. That's always good. 5-3 over the Rays for the Nats. Anibal Sanchez got the victory there. That was a game they really weren't too hot on. And then we move into the Indians, who, look, Tristan McKenzie continues to be good, but, he can't always win every game. The Royals. Yeah,
the bullpen got him.
The bullpen got him. What are you going to do? But the kid's still pretty good. Michael Franco driving in the run there. And you know what? Of all of the, we talked a lot about the Giants and some of these rebound seasons. Michael Franco, this is another guy that could be in that comeback player of the year discussion, at least. I know he slowed down a little bit from how hot he was about a month ago, but still, he's been a pretty productive player. And considering the Royals got him for a bag of balls, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, I'm all about it. I don't know about you. You probably were there at one point too, because all of us were Michael Franco fans at one point in time, and I've been waiting for it to happen. And we kind of made the joke in the offseason that maybe that we saw Jorge Soler do it the year before. Maybe this is all Franco needs. It's been pretty good so far.
Sometimes change of scenery does it. Sometimes you need a kick in the ass too. Sometimes certain players, for whatever reason, they either put too much pressure on themselves or the organization does or whatever it is. And sometimes you just need a fresh start somewhere else. Yep. And then you end up finding your mojo.
Yeah, ask like every Cardinals outfielder that gets traded.
This is true. The Stephen Piscotty story. Tonight on Lifetime, the Randall Grichuk story.
Right now it's Randall Arozarena is going crazy for the Rays.
Oh, God. What's going on? Frankie Montas back on track. Yay. This is
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Woo, 4-2 over the Astros in this one. So that is, we can all get a sigh of relief there. That's what we want. The Yankees follow the Blue Jays. Stop me if you heard this one. Before
no, Continue. I want to hear it more and more.
J Happ gets the loss here. We were expecting a lot more runs in this game. So actually,
yes.
All joking aside, this was not a great one. Not happy about the outcome in this one, but we continue on. Pirates beat the White Sox 5-4. Good on Bubba there. Bubba was fading away from this one a little bit. And if you listen to Bubba, you did not get burned. Sixto Sanchez combined with 4 relievers on a 4-hitter. They blanked the Braves. Talked about the Braves losing Max Fried yesterday. Kyle Wright comes up there. He's 0-4 with an 8 ERA. I don't understand what the Braves were thinking last offseason. I don't understand what they were thinking this trade deadline, last year trade deadline. You got to support these kids. You just can't have them go up there and just getting pounded like this. And I know Hamels was their plan, and I know that didn't work out, but you had to do better than that. Like, that was just not good enough for a team that you knew had a chance to win 100 games in a regular season. That's how good this team was on paper. So Spencer Turnbull was impressive. That guy was good again. We love that. 6 scoreless innings for him against the Brewers, who, at 18-22, I think I'm going to wave goodbye to the Brewers. Is it time? Is it time, Bubba? Are you with me? Are you waving goodbye?
Yeah, it's about that time. I think they're going to start regretting maybe not trading Josh Hader for something to start rebuilding that team. I know Hader's a beast, but they're not going to do it this year. Speaking
of haters, you might like this too, going back to the Yankees. So the Yankees lost again, right? They're now 5-15 over the last 20 games, and they've lost 5 in a row. They're down to 500 this season, and the Orioles are going to be a half game behind them for the final playoff spot tonight.
Oh, that will be so glorious. Can you imagine, like, the final week of the season? I don't even know if it's on the schedule, but Orioles, Yankees, do or die games. Like, that's just something that's 2020 in a nutshell, folks.
If I was Gary Sanchez, I'd be looking for real estate somewhere else.
Oh, man, watching some of those plate appearances from Sanchez last night, he's more lost than his stat line says.
He is the wrong Sanchez.
It's bad.
He is not Sixto Sanchez.
He is not spicy salsa Sanchez.
No, he is not spicy. He is not the guy throwing the heat. John Means beat Michael Wacha. We got runs in the Mets game here, but it was all on the Orioles side. So if you had that end of it, you did all right. Going over the rest of these games here, the Rangers, my guy Lance Lynn. So I got the W here against Bubba. He was you were a little scared. You were scared of my boy. When are you going to start respecting the big man? I mean,
I love the big man. I said Lynn was a cash game play. Heaney was a GPP play. That was my play on the whole game. I like Lynn.
Lynn across the board. All the Lance Lynn.
I was going to Sixto. I was just all Sixto.
You were all Sixto and nothing else. Alec Mills and the Cubs blanked the Reds 3-0. You also had the Padres beat up on the Rockies 14-5 by Clevenger. Got an easy W here. Will Myers homered not once, but twice. One of them was a slam. So huge day for Will Myers, who another guy, bounce back season. I love this.
Yep.
It's funny because these are all guys that I had last year hoping to get bounce backs. And I was like, okay, I think it's time to let this guy go, that guy go. So way to go. Gavin Lux hit not 1, but 2 home runs as well. So he seems to have figured things out. 19 runs in this game. Yowza. Between the Dodgers and D-backs, you get Kershaw on the mound today. We'll get to him in a little bit. And the Mariners fell to your Giants yet again. Darren Ruff with that pinch hit home run, but also Belton Solano continued to be very good. And that was yesterday in Major League Baseball. Boy, you must be feeling pretty good here about your I know it's not the same as winning championships and all that, but is there sort of a weird Cobra Kai guilty pleasure kind of feeling going on when you look at the Giants being a game above 500 right now with this roster?
Yeah, they're actually in the playoffs if we started today. Like, it's ridiculous right now watching this team, because I said it to a good buddy of mine who's a Giants fan yesterday. We were talking. I said, it's so weird. Again, 2020 in a nutshell. They have an offense, which we haven't seen in decades, and they have no pitching. It's the complete opposite of everything they built around.
Yeah, pretty much. Where's Matt Cain right now? By the way, it's an even year. So what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Even weird year. Here we go.
All right, so let's start things off. There's a 1:00 game with Matthew Boyd and Corbin Burns. So you're going to let that go. So let's start with the all-day slate on FanDuel starting at 6 o'clock because it's a new day. Yes, it is. Danny Duffy, 7.3 against Carlos Carrasco, 9.6. That's your cost in that one. So your feelings on Carlos Carrasco tonight on FanDuel. Is he worth that price for you against the Royals at 9.6, or is it a little too rich for your blood?
He's a good price tag. There's other guys I'd rather pay for tonight, but he has good savings if you want to pivot off the big three. I'll put it that way because it is the Royals. But we've seen the last few nights the Royals can't swing it decently. So he's in play, but I'll probably be passing this evening.
Michael Franco hitting in the cleanup spot, 2.7K. Yes, please. Yes. I'm gonna go against him again, Mr. Carrasco there, and Franmil Reyes on the other side of 3K hitting the 5 spot. against the lefty Danny Duffy. Sign me up for that as well. That's what I want. Those are the two guys that I want. Anything else to add from this game?
Nope, just the Franco. That's the only guy I was going to talk about.
Yeah, Franco and Michael Franco, those are good values. If tonight's main to the full slate, I should say, pardon me. I don't mind adding in because I like having the Blue Jays and Yankees bats again. I'm going to go try one more time to do that. It didn't quite work out yesterday. I got a good feeling about today. Wind is blowing in a different direction today. The wind is blowing in Cleveland, but still, Mcneil, Michael Franco, those are two good values too that can really help you out later on. You're going to need some help, especially in cash games going up to some of the pitchers today. So Davies Garcia at 7.8 against Tanner Roark. Same deal with your Blue Jays. Same thing. Grichuk's 3-1. You've got Vlad Guerrero at 3.2, Gurriel at 2.9. Luke Voigt's jumped to 3.6 overnight. He's ahead of LeMahieu. He's now the most expensive guy on this list. Gleyber Torres continues to be just 2.7. So I'm waiting for Torres to break out here. And I don't know. I feel like this is
running out of time, Joe.
I know, man. It's a bummer. It's a bummer, man.
Yeah,
so which side do you like more in this one? Blue Jays or Yankees?
I like attacking Tanner Roark the most I can. I like Luke Voigt. I know he's pricey, but what he's been doing right on the pitching, I'm a big fan of. It's hard to fade the Jays, though. They've won, I think I saw 17 of the last 21, and the Yankees, obviously, as you mentioned, have lost quite a few lately. So going back to the Jays is definitely a play. Keep an eye on Rowdy Tellez. He left hurt last night. If he was in, I'd be a big play on him at 2,900 on FanDuel. I do like Aaron Hicks, though, at 29 also. He got on, stole some bags last night, looking a little healthier. So
yeah, Talkman, the lefty, too,
for sure.
did 2.5. Yep. That's not a bad one either. It's funny. My kid's third grade teacher, we had our first, conference of the year, like welcome back to school thing. And, I do it in the office. So she saw all the stuff around, the baseball stuff and football stuff. And so she ended up she's a big Yankee fan, apparently. She's like, what's going on with Sanchez? I was like, lady, I don't know what to tell you. So there you go.
We don't have enough time for this.
This is a 10-minute, this is a 10-minute conversation. We're only booked for 15. What do you want me to tell you? So
go lay down on the couch. We'll talk about it.
All right, let's go jump to the next one here. Dane Dunning at 7.7 against JT Brubaker. This one has some potential here. This is the first of the 7 o'clock games. Dunning is 7.7. He's just 6.5. Going to be super popular in DK. It ain't wrong. I think this is a good matchup here for Dane Dunning, and it's a really good price for the matchup too. Love him as a secondary pitcher. How do you feel about him as a standalone? Is there enough innings in it for you, or just as the number 2 on DK?
Just as the number 2, because he's only gone 5 innings once so far this year. His pitch count went up to 88 last time, so he should go 95 plus this time, which will be very, very big. But strictly DK for me, if he's not walking guys, he's going to strike out a ton. The reason I liked him more than Cease yesterday, Cease isn't striking out guys. Dunning is. I love Dunning as an SP2 on DK in a big way.
And Menes continues to be the guy in the middle of this order, 3-4, hitting out of the 5 hole. That is just the best value in this lineup. Once again, you know how good this lineup is. So yesterday is yesterday. Don't get too hung up on it, because JT Brubaker is not going to get hung up on it. So if you want to, and now here's the one thing I will say: this is a very right-handed lineup for the White Sox. That's one of those things they are, with the exception of Moncada, but he hasn't really been right. And he loved tonight on like a cheap play like Nomar Mazara at 2.3. Is that a guy in play tonight against Brubaker?
I would say only if you're stacking the White Sox. Don't use them as a one-off. But if you're stacking,
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with you. All right, let's go to Pablo Lopez. He's on the road, but at 8K against the Braves and Tommy Milone, kind of think it's in play. I got to tell you, 8K is not a terrible price. 7.6 for Pablo Lopez on DK. So would you rather have Pablo Lopez at 7.6 against a much better Atlanta lineup, or would you rather have Dane Dunning at 6.5 as your secondary arm?
I want Dane Dunning, and I love Pablo Lopez, but on the road against Atlanta, give me Dane Dunning and his upside. I think Pablo maybe has a better floor, but Dunning has that upside that I want.
Can someone explain to me why Tommy Milone is 9.2 on DK?
I was waiting for you to see that. I was so waiting for it.
I saw it. I saw it. Before the show, I'm looking through
DK
things.
Very, very drunk.
Getting ready for the show, and I'm looking at Michael Wall. Tommy Malone's father clearly works for DraftKings. Like, I don't know.
DK was drinking tequila to take that Sixto price tag down. A little easier yesterday.
Yeah, so Sixto is cheap there, and Tommy Malone's 9.2.
Yep.
No. By the way, yesterday Garrett Cooper also hit a home run that didn't go higher than the fence. It was crazy. That guy hit a laser.
Ridiculous.
I'm telling you, 3.5 on DK, good value there. He's just 2.7 on FanDuel tonight. Go get some. Oh my goodness. 2 point. What? 2.7.
Yep. Stack the Marlins.
Stack the right-handed Marlins too. Marte,
Brian Anderson.
3K. Cooper, 2.7. Aguilar, 2.9. Anderson, 2.7. My God, that's just, I mean, come on, bro. Bro. What's Cooper's 3.5 on DK too? That's also a very good value. So Aguilar's 3.6, Anderson's 3.6. The best value on the night is definitely the Marlins bats. Looking at this right now, like that is a good ROI against the $9,000 salary of Tommy Milone.
Yep. I don't care if Malone miraculously pitches a complete game shutout. I will do that every time against Malone. Every time.
All right. So yesterday you got a lot of runs from the Orioles. Will they beat up Rick Porcello again? Or is this a game stack for you? Looking at the Mets and Orioles tonight at 7-10. What are your thoughts and feelings and emotions on this one?
Loving the Mets price tag on both sides. You know, Dom Smith's 4-2 on DK.
Dormant yesterday, though. I'm a little annoyed.
But I don't care. Give me all the Jeff McNeil. This guy is raking. He's 28 on FanDuel, 35 on DraftKings. Nemo's cheap at 4K, 29 on FanDuel. I love them all. I'll go back to it. Conforto only 32 compared to 48 on DK is a great value. McNeil is my favorite play out of them all, between price tag and overall. But I love a Met stack against Lopez, and I don't mind bringing it back with, I mentioned it before, DJ Stewart's 24 on FanDuel, 2K on DK hitting 6th for the Orioles. He's homered in 3 straight games. He's a cheapie. Mountcastle's a cheapie. So I can game stack this, but if I have to pick one side, give me the Mets.
I wish my last name was Mountcastle. So much better. I mean, it's so Game of Thronesy.
We could have a whole other show on that, Joe, but I'll keep it PG.
Are you saying I would be in a different industry?
I don't. Okay, I'm not.
Yeah, easy, Sixto. Easy. All right. Let's go and see if Kyle Cody can take a few moments off of his country club, get off the golf cart for a couple minutes against Julio Teheran. Actually pitched tonight, so 5.6, 5.7 for these two guys on FanDuel. No appeal for me here. Any appeal for you here in this game on the Angel side? I assume this is how you'd want to attack. Mike Trout's always in play at 4.7. Rendon is at 4K. You got to pay for these guys, though. Obviously, both those guys are well above 5K over on DK. So any feelings on this one here before we jump to the Rockies? Because this is another one that's on the lukewarm for me.
Yeah, it's kind of lukewarm. The only guy maybe Justin Upton's actually heating up. So if you want to get him cheap while he's cheap before he goes to Coors Field, sure. Otherwise, no. I
can't. Justin, I can't. Can't do it anymore. It's so crazy. And you're probably right. Like, I'm just saying right now, I'm wrong. Bubba's probably right because he is a very streaky player, but I just can't do it. He is such a zero waiting to happen every day. Gross. All right. I'm in a mood today, but this is what happens when I get punchy and football starts and baseball's overlapping at the same time. September's always you get wacky Joey P. That's what you get.
I'm loving it. I'm excited.
I know. It's really the best. Antonio Senzatella, my people, and one of Bubba's favorites, is going to take on one of my favorites, Zach Davies. Now, Zach Davies, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say without hesitation, Zach Davies deserves his 9K salary. He has earned it.
Yes, he does. Yep.
So
agreed.
He is 8.7 on DK. That's a phenomenal value for him. I would definitely have him in play today. Senzatella 7.2 on DK, 7.4 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, excuse me. So, do you go with the more expensive Davies? Do you look for some Oppo love with Senzatella? What's your approach on this one?
I think Davies is a phenomenal cash game play. The floor he's shown all year has been outstanding. He's a good SP2 on DraftKings or an SP1 if you want to save and use him with Dunning and not pay for the high-priced arms. I think Davies is a great play tonight. So I'm going Davies. I'm going to fade Senzatella, which hurts me, but this Padres offense I just don't want to get in the way of.
Well, not only that, they keep losing pieces too. They lost Hosmer now. Mitch Moreland's taking over first base full time. He's in the cleanup spot probably today. The lefty 2.9, Myers are 3.1. Man, like this is another one to get. There's so many good 3K bats tonight. We just talked about the Marlins. These guys in the middle of the order for the Padres. So much good to be had here. I'm with you. I'm going to fade away from the Rockies today. I'm going to also go in favor of that middle of the Padres order. And I'll tell you what, there's so much value here that we've seen. You could even get Tatis, which is not something we do a whole lot of, but you can actually do it. Moreland, by the way, just 3.8K over on DK, and Myers 4.1. So really good value there for both of those guys because hasn't caught up to him yet. Now here we go. This is it. This is what you've all been waiting for. Trevor Bauer versus Yu Darvish. 10.8 for Bauer, 11.5 for Yu Darvish on FanDuel, 11.5 for Yu Darvish on DK, 10.9 for Bauer on DK. So basically the same exact pricing, save $100 on FanDuel on Trevor Bauer. So last time this happened, I went with Yu Darvish against Jack Flaherty, and I told you I put that lineup in tournaments and it won. And I'm feeling that with all that value on the board, I might do it again today because that Reds lineup it's been lackluster. They haven't put it all together. They just haven't been able to do it for whatever reason. Suarez has had power, but he hasn't hit for average. Winker's been great. Castellanos has been good at times. Yu Darvish has been great all year. And yes, this is definitely a 4-outcome game. But I put my faith in Darvish last time. Am I double dipping and am I going to get burned this time? Or do you think that Trevor Bauer is actually the way to go and save a little cash here? What's your approach, if any, to this game?
I'm all in on Yu Darvish with you as well. It's one of those, at the level of pitching he's at. If he has a hiccup sometime this season, so be it. Like he's so darn good right now. The Reds offense is lackluster, as you mentioned, and the wind's supposed to be blowing in 12 to 15 miles an hour from left field. So give me all the Yu Darvish and Ridley.
Or Davies, because big difference there in cash between those two. That's a 2.5K difference on FanDuel on a single pitcher site. That's a lot.
That's a lot. So I could see the argument for Davies, but with the value at bats like we've talked about, I could still feel pretty confident going to Darvish.
I actually feel like Davies is a tournament play tonight.
He could get that price savings big time.
At that price savings, I can get Tatis. I can get in that lineup a little bit more, make that work. That's kind of my approach. Obviously, these two pitchers, the offenses, we're expecting it to be down, obviously. Going to the next game here, we have the Astros against the A's. Jesus Lizardo against Luis Garcia. Lizardo is 7-7 on FanDuel. He's 8-3 on DK. Any interest in him tonight in this mix of pitchers?
No, I'm just going to pass. It's like if you're doing a multi-entry, yes, go for it, but I'll just pass right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. So that being said, I do have enough respect for Lizardo that I'm not crazy to go pay up for the Astros. Although it's nice because we got Alex Bregman back, so that's nice. It's nice to have nice things. That's good. So we'll see how he does. Keep an eye on that. Some people might not realize he's back or be hesitant to play him. I would not be. He's just great. Last two games here on the slate in the evening, 9:40. Clayton Kershaw, 10.5 on DK, getting actually a little bit of a discount there on him against Taylor Clark and the Diamondbacks on FanDuel. Kershaw's at 11. So do you take the cookie matchup against the Diamondbacks at 11K, or do you pay up 11.5 for Darvish going against Trevor Bauer? This is another important question to ask ourselves.
I still go to Darvish. I get the Kershaw argument, but I'm going to Darvish just because I think he's got the higher ceiling right now.
Ownership will be less too, which is the same thing that happened last time against Flaherty. Ownership was way down on what normal Darvish would be. And that's why it has tournament appeal, because people see that and they go, or they automatically go to the cheaper guy because, well, Bauer's the, underdog. Well, yeah, but you know what happens? The underdog gets a lot more of the attention, more of the roster ownership. Next thing you know, Yu Darvish gets the W, the quality start, and 8 strikeouts, and then he's the guy that outperforms him for, $700 more. I'll take all that extra points for the $700. I like Kershaw today too. I think Kershaw's the safer play.
Yes.
So if you're somebody, and we always talk about this on the program too, if you're somebody with, limited bankroll, you're going to play one game tonight, Kershaw's the safer way to go. There is no doubt in my mind about that. As confident as I am in Darvish, you take a lot of error out of things. Or if you're going to play two lineups, you have one Darvish, one Kershaw, that works. Or if you want to go to Davies, that's also something that's in play. If you want to be contrarian, I get the Trevor Bauer tonight too. Like if you want to get in on that, okay. It will be very popular though. I'm just telling you, it's going to be. That's just he's been good enough to prove that. How are you approaching against Taylor Clark for this Dodger offense? Anybody sticking out to you? Max Muncy at 3.6 kind of sticks out to me on FanDuel.
Yeah, Muncy's good. Belly's doing his thing, but on FanDuel, Gavin Lux is only 2.4. He's cheap on DraftKings as well, so that's where you want to go for value with the Dodgers. They're
free
in play pretty
square
much every night. Yeah, he's a free square. Another value play we've mentioned, so that's why you can pay for Darvish tonight.
All right, and Nick Marjavikas against Tyler Anderson closing things out for us in San Francisco. See if Darren Ruff's in the lineup tonight, because if so, he's 2.1.
and 2.3 on DK. So
there you go. We'll see who gets the start there. Solano at 2.5 on FanDuel is a good value. Wilmer Flores against the lefty at 2.9. Again, there's just so much value here on the board tonight. Get involved with some of these, the Giants, the Padres, the Marlins. They might not be the sexiest offenses ever. It's not like the Twins. It's not like the White Sox. Okay, I get it. But right now, those are the ones producing runs, and the matchups are good, and the prices are good. So just do it. Anything else to add on this one?
If you know another value, do Bonds 2K on FanDuel, 2.6 on DraftKings. And Austin Slater probably leading off a nice value versus lefty as well. So the Giants are definitely in play yet again, and they're affordable.
There you go. All right, boys and girls, it's time to call our shot. Bubba and I are each going to give you our home run calls for tonight and see if we can get somebody to go yard. And you can play along as well and win some free stuff courtesy of LineStar. Just go over to Twitter, follow us on the LineStar app at Twitter, and you give us your home run call, and we'll see if you get it right. And if so, you win some free stuff. Everybody likes free stuff. So I'm going to go first today. The guy looks pretty hot right now. I love the matchup against Tommy Milone. Give me Garrett Cooper going yard tonight and doing it on the cheap on DK and on FanDuel. I love the price of Cooper tonight. The DH is the best thing that could ever happen to Garrett Cooper. Where are you going for your home run tonight, Bubba?
Well, I absolutely love that call, but we're not going to double dip. We'll give the listeners two people to pick from. I'm going to go back to your Metropolitans, and I'm going Michael Conforto versus Jorge Lopez.
There you go. So get in there. Follow us at LineStar MLB and at LineStar App and get in the contest as well. So reminder, this week, the pre-snap, the NFL version of this show drops with Scott Bogman and myself. The wagering show on Friday, the DFS show on Thursday. Bubba and I will be back again tomorrow as well. So many things happening. This is my favorite time of year. So much fun. So much fun. And Punchy Joey P, which is the best one. So you can follow Punchy Joey P at Joe Pisapia 17 on Twitter. Follow him at KC Bubba. And again, go over to LineStarApp.com. Get that LineStar app. Download, upgrade, and start winning. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. There's nothing left to do now except step out of the on-deck circle and into the batter's box and go yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.